honey. Well. New weave, 22 inches, yeah! Child, I got so famous off of that shit right there.
Well, let's talk about it for a minute.
God,
So, do you know New Weave 22 inches?
now, I don't know, how many millennials do we have in the building?
So if you've never seen this video, this is really, I think, the thing that probably launched you, right?
Well, it catapulted me into this place where I'm sitting here amongst you two beautiful women.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, honey.
I'll take it. So explain what happened in this video.
Well, I got famous.
Not too much, Myrtle, not too much.
Ferme la bouche.
Sorry.
Cállate la boca, por favor.
It was literally a Vine
I'm
video.
bi,
It was like,
okay? Lingual only, okay? So,
It was like 6 seconds, right?
yeah, you know, you guys are, how many of you guys in the room are familiar, excuse me, I speak Ebonic.
You're good.
Familiar with Vine. You know,
yeah.
Vine has made some very magnificent stars.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and
We're
I'm
looking
one
at
of them.
Vine,
I'm one of
yeah.
them. But in 6 seconds, you get to tell the world so many different things.
And blow their minds.
Yeah.
So essentially what happened is you were showing off your new
Well,
weave.
no, what happened was, guys, my history is I am affiliated, well, I once was. I was. Like, how can I use these words when
No,
I
use
still-
it. Everyone
I make
here
money
gets
still
it.
off of that. Well, I was involved in the adult entertainment industry.
Yes.
Yes, honey, I made money from selling sex. Some of you give pussy away for free, I charge. So, and during that time, I was in a different mind frame in my life, and I was just trying to promote, the infamous BigDickBitch.com, But at that time, that's where my mind was.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, honey, I'm never gonna make it as an actress, so let me go ahead and let me do Mattress Giant commercials. Remember that? Remember that? Only a Mattress Giant. But the difference between me and those commercials was I was doing it naked. So silly. And I was promoting my adult site at the time. I had to be, what year was that? 2012?
Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, well, what year are we in? Almost 2019?
Almost
Yeah.
2019,
A
we're
lot can
around
change.
the corner.
Listen, a lot can change in 24 hours, but imagine in almost 7 years,
Yeah.
Well, so what happened was I was promoting that, and I've always told people that there's always been something that has sat on my shoulder and whispered in my ear, like, do it, bitch, do it, bitch, do it, say it, do it. And something was on my shoulder, and it said, go and look at Vine. So I'm looking at Vine, I see all the little funny 6-second stuff, and then I said, what is this Vine After Dark hashtag? And I clicked, and I was like, oh! Dicks are everywhere. Dicks are everywhere, and they're here for free. So me being the business person that I am, like, wait a minute. 100,000 people looked at this. 10,000 people looked at this. 10,000 divided by, multiplied by, minus. I can make a coin off of this.
Yes.
So I did what any businesswoman would do. I ran to my front door and I said, new weave, 22 inches, yeah! Now, I didn't think it was gonna go viral.
This is what I have to say. You blew
The world.
You blew the world away because everyone was like, look at her. And then you showed off everything and people were like, I don't fucking get it.
Yeah, I don't
and
get it.
But so many people did get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So many
enough
people were
did.
like, thank fucking God.
Yeah, because they was like, how did this fat lady have a dick?
Right.
Never to know that I started to usher in a sexual revolution.
And I'm glad that you're acknowledging that.
Yeah.
I have to say, I saw an interview recently with Patti LuPone where Oprah asked her, do you see yourself as a legend? And Patti LuPone said, I do, I really do. And I loved that she did it.
You should
I
fucking own it.
I was going to ask you if you feel yourself as a trailblazer, and
I
if you were
do.
going to shake her for that.
I
Good.
do.
Good.
I
You should
do.
own it.
I ushered in
Yes.
a sexual revolution for trans people. Everybody ain't conservative. Some people wanted to be motherfucking naked. Shit, I see all these beautiful pink pussies and all these big black dicks and big white dicks and big German dicks and big Syrian dicks. And I see all these big dicks everywhere. I'm like, well, why can't I put mine in the mix? So I'm like, let me in. You know what I'm saying? Let this be all inclusive. Well, honey, you don't even know. Tosh.0 picked one of them up. And I was laying in my bed. I think it was the year 2013. I was on vacation.
It was.
And I was laying in bed.
It was.
That's my manager, Gio.
Gio knows.
So I was laying in my bed, and all of a sudden, I'm watching Comedy Central, and I see me on the TV. They was like, she got a dick, she got a dick, she got a dick. Yeah, a dick, motherfucker, a dick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, nobody gave me money for that. Somebody cut me the fucking check. So,
Are you someone who knew, though? I mean, because this is essentially a 6-second path to success, which I sort of think spoke to my point earlier about, like, just being yourself can bring you to the world. Did you always know, and this is an absurd question, but did you always know that you had something?
Well,
that, like, you were like...
When I look down in the morning, of course. Who doesn't know when they look down, honey? And then I've been with a significant amount of men, and I know that they weren't hanging like me.
But you have sustained 6 seconds from 2013 into around the corner from 2019. So what is that drive?
Well, the drive is, it wasn't about the tits and the pee-pee. It was about the person. It was about me, and I put my clothes on. People, there are some people that won't let me live that down, and I don't care. I tell them to suck my dick. But pay me the money first, though. But, there's some people that will not allow me to live that area in my life down because I've moved on from that. I mean, I've used the internet. The internet has always been a way for me to make a substantial living, a very good living.
Oh, yeah.
We see
Listen,
it.
and all you entrepreneurs, did I say that right?
Yeah.
All of you entrepreneurs out there that are internet-based, do not let anybody tell you anything different. Bitch, the internet can make you $1 million motherfucking dollars from your home because it did it for me. Okay? It can make you money, just by being yourself, just by waking up. There's some YouTubers out there, I was like, please.
Well, and before YouTube, I was talking about earlier, who were your influences? How did you even know who to look to or what to do? I mean, like I said, you really are like...
Well, of course it was Mother. Everybody knows RuPaul is everybody.
Yeah.
And if you haven't heard...
I have a
T.S.
song
Madison's
with RuPaul.
album.
Yes,
that's
it's
right,
called
the song.
Drop, baby.
Yeah.
So, she was always my inspiration and stuff like that. And then what's so ironic is that she has been my inspiration for all of these years. And then in 6 seconds, I became hers.
Yeah.
That is something to say.
Yeah.
Good for you.
6 seconds. How many times have you heard RuPaul say, step your pussy up?
Yes.
How many times have y'all seen that floating across RuPaul's Drag Race?
Yes.
Every time.
That belongs to me.
Yeah.
T.S., will you tell the story? I love the story that you told on that podcast about when you were working.
The beat?
Yeah, before that, when you were working a desk job and then you had RuPaul's poster on your desk.
Yeah, and the guy came through and he felt the need to come through and tear all my drag down off of my cubicle. Yeah, he walked to my cubicle and was like, and tore it down. I was on lunch break. When I came back, the first thing I saw was him looking in my cubicle. I was like, well, maybe he's going to leave his number, So I'm not going to walk up on him too fast, because at that time I was the only transgender woman working at the call center, And, I have lots of tits and ass and body and everything else.
Yes.
Tits and ass will do it, honey. And it was driving the men crazy because people were saying, she's a man. People would do that. She's a man. And they're like, wait, I don't see it, And one thing about being heavy set, big bone. One thing about being big bone, you can really get in, And he was like, I don't think he could believe it. And then I guess the RuPaul picture and stuff on my desk really drove him insane. So he just tore all my pictures down. I was like, okay, now I thought you wanted my number. I thought you were gonna leave me your number. I thought we was gonna hook up after. Now I got to kick your motherfucking ass. I got to kick your ass now, bitch. I'm gonna fuck you up. So, it was just, and I think that was the last job that I really worked, And listen, I don't want to encourage anybody in this room to get involved into sex work because, listen, I have so many outrageous stories. You can find them on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Please follow me at T.S. Madison Hinton. But I have so many stories about that. And I'm not proud of it, but I'm glad that I got an opportunity to experience the dark side of life.
And you're just like owning everything.
Yeah.
Which I feel like we talk about on the podcast, like we are in an era where like you should wear your shame as a badge of honor.
Oh, yes, honey.
That's the thing that's going to get you ahead.
You know why? Because nobody can shame me out in the streets. I can't see any one of those people that are, you're a whore! I'm like, I know!
But you understand, like, how you...
So is your mother! She just didn't tell you, bitch.
But everything you do, like, when you talk back and you, like, and you give it back to people, like, you take away their power so instantly.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not ashamed of anything. I made lots of money. I made lots of mistakes, and I'm here sitting right in between two beautiful individuals.
Are you sweet?
That had a wonderful show. The throwing shade.
You're the best.
It was such a great thing, and I'm so glad to see LBGTQIABCDEFG people and friends of us and supporters of us do such wonderful things.
I want to talk about Nicki Minaj coming to your defense recently.
Oh yeah, that's my
Did
girl.
you hear about this? It was amazing.
Nicki.
Tell this story.
Well, I was on Queen Radio,
Yes.
chopping it up with Nicki, because Nicki and I have a good little relationship with each other. I think she's a sweet girl, honey. No matter what the people say about her, people don't know that good side of her. And I find lots of pieces of myself in Nicki's story.
She didn't throw the shoe.
No,
She didn't.
No, she didn't throw the
That's
shoe.
right.
She
That's right.
did not.
Yeah.
But, and she didn't like the tweet either. But, she came to my defense. I was on Queen Radio because the gentleman on the radio, I don't know if his name was Booth or something, he called me, he referred to me as the pronoun he or him or something like that. She said, hey, don't do that. That's a woman, honey. That's a woman. And that, no matter that I loved her for that. I loved her for so many different other reasons because, she's quietly, done little small things in my career, like little quietly or whatever. And I appreciate Nicki Minaj. I appreciate any star, even RuPaul, even Lee Daniels, like all the people that have had a little boost of something or called me on the phone or said, Madison, you've inspired me to do something great for the people. I'm like, well, damn, that makes me feel really good. And I'm going to always be in defense of people that defend me. That's just what's going to happen. Right?
Yeah. Do you feel like because of your success that you've been catapulted into this position of
being an activist and advocate?
Yeah.
Yes.
And do you feel like you have to be like on your best, like you have to be like
role
watch
model.
what you say? Like, do you feel that
I
pressure?
mean, I understand that I do have a responsibility. There were times that I was like, I didn't ask you motherfuckers to make me no motherfucking, I didn't say shit like that.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you. But then I had to really evaluate it. Like, Madison, you are really in the public, and Madison, there are things that you say. Now, don't hold me accountable for all the shit, because I'm still a human being. And I might say and do some fucked up shit. I might.
We want you to.
Yeah, that just shows I'm human. I might say and do some fucked up shit. And I'm still learning about words and things not to do and say. Like, I'm still learning. And it's a good thing, for me, being so public, to be taught these things, like in front of people like Madison. But listen, don't think because I'm still learning that I have to subscribe to that situation. Because there are a lot of people that say, oh, well, Madison, you shouldn't use the word. Yes, we're not going to use the word tranny because it's not proper and it is offensive to people. And there was a time that I was selfish in that because I made lots of money off of that hashtag.
Sure.
Yeah.
But then I had to take myself out of it and understand that could have been, detrimental to somebody else's, situation or whatever. And I can't.
Not everybody's as strong as you are.
Right,
Yeah.
child, I'm about to be 41 years old in 2 weeks. Okay? Been called every motherfucking thing. Do you hear me? But bitch, you better not call me without no money.
Yeah.
It was natural coming out day yesterday, but did you have a significant coming out? Was it a difficult thing for you, or was everyone...
Well, I come from a Southern Baptist.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Alyssa Edwards got that for me. That's my bitch. But I mean, I'm a Southern Baptist girl, honey. You know what that gives. People are they want you to be, oh my God, honey, speaking of, speaking in tongues and Bible study, vacation Bible school, and all of
and
this
ignoring
stuff.
everything in front of them.
Oh my God, honey, sex in the back of the church. You know how it goes. Come on, man. But
Ew! Imagining I'm just thinking of the people at the church I grew up with and them fucking in the back.
Oh, honey, you haven't been baptized in the right church. You got to come to one of those black churches, honey, where the dicks are really big.
Because the church I went to was literally, you could see all the men's and women's bushes from like underneath their clothing.
Oh,
like it was just totally.
Oh, no. But, you know, for me, like my coming out thing was I came out to my family kind of like by accident, because my dream goal was to move to California, be a surgeon, a doctor, a teacher, or something like a scientist. I was just going to move to California. I was never going to tell my mom that I was gay, you know, but then I was like, hey, I want some titties.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, for sure.
So I started getting some titties, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, and my story, like I tell people all the time, like every trans woman has this thing where they say that they were a woman trapped inside of a man's body. You know, and that wasn't my initial story. My initial thing was I was very sexual, honey. My hormones was raging. And I wanted a straight man to love me for being abroad. Okay? I grew into that, me being a woman trapped inside of a man's body. But my first thing was, I wanted to be loved by a man that likes women. I didn't want a gay man, because the stigma with gay men were, they were all, can I use the bad words?
Oh, yeah,
sure.
please.
They were all fags. They were all feminine. And you have a husband now.
Well, I did. He left me.
Did he leave you for mask?
Do you know what? That's a good question. I think I presented myself as mask for mask, and then it slowly peeled away.
Wait,
And he was
anybody
like,
believe that Brian was mad? You see the pink shirt, honey? I know the underwear are definitely pink G-strings, trust me.
I remember one of Derek's first questions. He was like, "You have such an athletic build. Did you play football?" I was like, "Sure did."
How many?
Like 6. And he was like, "What position?" I was like, "Ah, man, just like fucking yeah." Like months later, he was like 6 months later, after like the web had been woven and he was fucking trapped. He was like, "Did you ever play?" I was like, "I didn't. I'm a completely different human being."
Right. I was the water boy, honey. You know. I carried the jug.
Exactly right. That's exactly right.
We were talking about this, and I'm sure this experience is different, but I was asking Jinx Monsoon, who was on our show in Seattle, I was like...
That's my girl, Jinx. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was asking her, I was like, do straight men touch you in a way that is more like, do people feel like...
You're an object.
You're an object?
Yeah.
You're straight, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Very.
So you know how it is when a straight man touches you, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know how it is when Brian touches you, right?
Which is like...
never
this.
happened.
Right, so it's a completely different touch, you know.
Yeah.
So it's different, you know. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Being that I've gotten older and I've become a figure in the LGBTQ community, there have been some gay men that have been, you know, kind of like,
Oh, yeah. Really?
I need this shit.
Are you in a relationship? Are you dating or anything? Or what's your...
Oh.
I shouldn't have asked. Status.
My status is smiles.
Yes. I don't win them over.
But you know, and like I'm opening up to, because I've never had, honestly, this is a true story. I've never had a gay identified man. I've never dated a gay identified man. I've always dated the trade. You know, we know what trade is, right?
Yeah.
I've always dated the trade. Trade barters coochie for everything else at night.
Right.
So, you know, and it would be after 12, before 6.
Sure.
You know,
Oh, I
so
know.
when I'm starting to see that a lot of gay identified men are starting to be trans attracted. And I'm like, oh, okay.
It's a new world, yeah.
It's a whole new world.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
I think it's happening with straight women too. I think, or women who identify as straight, they're starting to be like, oh,
listen.
But also, it's just like,
But listen,
open the world.
For you guys, for you girl, for you gals.
Yeah.
It's if you and a woman have an experience, it's an experience.
Right.
But if a straight identified man has an experience, he's gay.
Right.
And I think that's wrong.
That's why
I
women
agree.
should be ruling the world. I mean,
Yes.
it really should be like they should be setting the precedent for that.
Because if I got down in the horizontal position right now with you on the floor, I'm still gonna love men.
Right.
I might have had an experience with you, but that doesn't make me straight.
Yeah.
So I just don't like the stigma for men, and it makes so many men stay in the closet.
But you know what?
Yeah,
and the repercussions of that, like if you're a straight woman and you're in a relationship with someone who's presenting themselves as straight and then sleeping with other people at night and you don't know about it, there's so many lies, and like a bunch of people get caught into that shame spiral of this one person not feeling like they can be themselves.
Yeah, and I just don't think that it's right. And so this is why there have been so many men that have been, secretly courting the girls,
Sure.
Yeah. And we end up on the short end of the stick because they will murder us just to keep their name.
Yep.
Everyone knows that, right? The most vulnerable people in this country are trans women of color. Like, full stop.
Yes.
And that conversation's completely dimmed in the past couple of years. Like, we talked about the bathrooms for a hot minute, and then people thought other problems were worse.
God,
but
the
it is a
bathrooms.
bad situation. Yeah.
Can we talk about the bathroom for a second?
Oh yeah, we were just.
Do you know how many times that I've been in the bathroom just sitting, honey, and coming out washing my hands or whatever, and then when this whole thing popped out about trans women in the bathroom, I'm like, girl, are you kidding me? And then I've watched women that I loved online voicing their opinions saying, I don't want to be in the bathroom with any of you men. And I'm like, sister, we've shared lipstick in the bathroom. What are you talking about? Like,
I just saw you.
I just saw you in the bathroom. Like, why are you under the stall? Like, let me see your dick. I want to see your dick. And I'm like,
I mean, honestly, like I have never been in the bathroom and been like
Ever.
shitting. I've never been shitting in the bathroom and going like, I could fuck somebody right now. You know what I mean? Like the fact that people conflate that with
I get it.
But you know what?
You've never fucked someone while you're shit.
right. Wait a minute now. Hold on.
Did you see a Star Wars?
Hold on, honey. Now there has been a little slip up after Taco Tuesday, girl. Didn't mean to do it, but shit, the dick was good and the tacos were even better. God damn it.
The recognition in this room right now, everyone's like, yeah. I have to say, like,
Don't scat shame.
no, not at all.
You were just talking about Grindr, honey. Don't you dare
I'm not.
scat shame.
Believe me, there's nothing I'm scared less of than shit.
Right.
Like, I'm just like so immune to it now. I'm like, oh, yep, okay. Who
Have you
cares?
done it during sex?
Have I? What do you mean? Have I taken a shit during sex?
Not meaning to do it. Like sometimes it's an overload back there. You're like, blah, blah, blah,
I'm generally a top. I'm generally.
Wait a minute, Brian's the top. Everybody give a round of applause for this.
However, yes, I have taken my.
I'm an AB, always bottom.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute, hold on. I have some questions. You've never pegged. You've never been in a pegging.
No, but I'll tell you something. Here we go. So my husband was like, he's trying to get me to do anal, and I was like, if you do that to me, then I'm gonna do that to you.
It's a good compromise.
Yeah.
Did he agree?
No, but I'm working on it.
Okay. So would he let you bring like a friend to the bed that you'd like want to peg?
Oh, Devil's Triangle? Yeah. No, he's Italian. He gets jealous.
He's Italian?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Well, it's more like more foreskin.
Wait,
I have a
do
question.
that.
Who
They
would
don't
your
do it
devil's
like-
triangle be? If you could pick two people to have sex, like a solid
triangle.
threesome with, mine would be Cormac McCarthy. I don't know why.
Ew.
What?
And
Do you know who he is?
He wrote The Road and all the pretty
He writes
horses.
like
Saying
apocalyptic westerns.
and
He wears bolo ties
yeah.
and denim shirts.
God, who else would? Howard Stern.
Are these real?
Real.
really?
RuPaul. I would, and
Yeah.
probably Paula Tompkins, yeah, and Lauren Lapkus.
Oh, so I have to say 3 men?
Sure, or 3 anybody. Who would be your perfect bedroom situation?
I'd like Channing Tatum because he has the fattest eyes.
Yes.
I would like really.
Yeah, sure.
I love Idris Elba.
Thank
He's
you.
such a
Gorgeous.
I did a shandarabush. I spoke in tongues on that.
Southern
And
Baptist.
I mean, yes, Southern
Coming
Baptist.
out.
I take him all the way from England to Southern Baptist boy. And let's see, who is it? Who else have I had my eye on?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh no. this is gonna sound crazy, but since we're in the realm of James Bond, I'd like the black James Bond who would be Idris Elba, and the white one, which is Daniel Craig.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron,
Yeah.
give a dream scenario.
Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, him too. Star 4. Girl, you like him young. Oh.
Gordon
Wait,
Ramsay.
how
She
old
likes
is he?
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay and Michael B. Jordan.
She just likes the last name Ramsey.
She does. Yeah.
I like to be older and younger at the same time.
Yeah. So that's it. Did you see A Star Is Born?
I have not yet,
Okay.
but I do know that my sister Shangela is in it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my girl, Shangela. And who else is in it?
Willem is in it.
Willem is in it?
Willem is
Oh,
in
let me
it.
tell y'all something. Okay, I gotta tell you a story about Willem. Willem and I were in Australia together. Willem and Aja, I love my girls.
Oh, Aja, yeah.
I found out in Australia that I am a queer trans woman. And I have to say thank you to Willem and Aja for
What
that.
does that mean?
Well, it because I like drag. I like, I like all things gay, but I did identify as a heterosexual trans woman, and I'm really not bound by. I don't like you to refer to me as he, him, and it, and all the things. I do, answer to the pronouns she and her.
Sure.
But I don't really give a fuck what you really say. You know what I'm saying? I'm at drag con sometimes and I have a big wig on with soft makeup. Like, I feel like that I'm a woman, but I'm still a queen.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's queer, right?
Yes.
That's queer.
Yeah. Where do you see this? What is your ultimate dream scenario? Just like media takeover?
Oh, I've already done that. Right?
That's what I mean. Like, you do music, you have this podcast.
Yeah. Well, for me, I would really, honestly, to God, I'd like for a lot of people that use inspirations from me to just add me to the equation,
Yes.
Good fucking point.
That's what I
Yes,
feel.
I want to see you next season in Pose. I want to see.
You want to see me on Pose?
I
You
want
want
to
to
see
see me on Star?
every.
No, but
You wanna
that's
see me
right.
on Drag Race?
We whitewash every sort of, especially in trans.
For me, I think that I think they might fear that I'm like really unapologetic, and if someone asks me, "Did you used to be a hooker?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I was."
This is a moneymaker and a fucking problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't care about this. I really don't care what you really feel about me, from perception. You have to get to know me to love me.
Yes.
And that's what you've done. Both of you've done
We
that.
adore you. And by the
I
way,
mean-
you're going to take us out.
I am now?
Yeah, you are.
Are we going to do it now?
You want to?
Oh, yeah.
I want to do it now.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
hit it.
Are we doing this with music?
Yeah, he's going to turn it on
We are?
in just a second.
Oh my God, y'all so... Yeah. I admit... Oh, honey, cut that shit
Cut
off.
it.
Fuck
Cut it.
that.
She'll do it live.
Oh, we're doing
She'll do
it
it live.
acapella.
Cut the track.
We're doing acapella.
I admit that in the past I've been a nasty. They weren't kidding when they called me, well, a witch. But you'll find that nowadays I've mended all my ways, repented, sucked a dick, and sucked a dick. I unfortunately know a little magic. It's a talent that I always have possessed. But here lately, please don't laugh. I use it on behalf of the miserable, the lonely, and depressed.
Everybody,
Poor unfortunate souls in pain, in need. This one longing to be thinner, that one wants to be a girl. And do I help them? Yes, indeed. Those poor unfortunate souls, so sad, so true. They come walking to my host room saying, Maddie, give me money, please. And do I help them? Yes, I do.
P.S. Madison, everybody. Thank you so much. Good night. Thank you so much. Thank you all. We'll see you out there. We'll sign shit and take pictures of whatever you want.